Hey everybody, it's Lisa Purdy, and I'm here with you again today reading from the Amplified Classic version of the Bible. We are in Genesis 16 today, and I'm hoping that this is helping to encourage you to be in the Word each and every day and allowing it to recalibrate and reframe your mind so that you can be working from actual truth and letting that kind of be your foundation for your life. So hopefully this is helping you. So let's get started in chapter 16. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, had borne him no children. She had an Egyptian maid whose name was Hagar. And Sarai said to Abram, "See here, the Lord has restrained me from bearing children. I am asking you to have intercourse with my maid. It may be that I can obtain children by her." And Abram listened to and heeded what Sarai said. So Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her Egyptian maid, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his secondary wife. And he had intercourse with Hagar, and she became pregnant. And when she saw that she was with child, she looked with contempt upon her mistress and despised her. Then Sarai said to Abram, "May the responsibility for my wrong and deprivation of rights be upon you. I gave my maid into your bosom, and when she saw that she was with child, I was contemptible and despised in her eyes. May the Lord be judged between you and me." But Abram said to Sarai, "See here, your maid is in your hands and power. Do as you please with her." And when Sarai dealt severely with her, humbling and afflicting her, she, Hagar, fled from her. But the angel of the Lord found her by a spring of water in the wilderness on the road of Shur. And he said, "Hagar, Sarai's maid, where did you come from, and where are you intending to go?" And she said, "I am running away from my mistress Sarai." The angel of the Lord said to her, "Go back to your mistress and humbly submit to her control." Also the angel of the Lord said to her, "I will multiply your descendants exceedingly, so that they shall not be numbered for multitude." And the angel of the Lord continued, "See now, you are with child and shall bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael." God hears, because the Lord has heard and paid attention to your affliction. And he, Ishmael, will be as a wild ass among men. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he will live to the east and on the borders of all his kinsmen. So she called the name of the Lord who spoke to her, "You are a God of seeing," for she said, "Have I not even here in the wilderness looked upon him who sees me and lived? Or have I here also seen the future purpose or designs of him who sees me?" Therefore the well was called Beer-lahai-roi, a well to the living one who sees me. It is between Kadesh and Bered. And Hagar bore Abram a son, and Abram called the name of his son, whom Hagar bore, Ishmael. Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bore Ishmael. So it's kind of a sad story because Sarai was not content with waiting on God's promise. And God had been faithful to them. And yet she now has deceived her husband into doing wrong, just as Eve had done to Adam. That patience was not there. And in doing so, what we'll see in future events is, like the Lord told Hagar, is that her son becomes a wild ass to those around him, which is not good. And it was because it was not the original plan or best plan that God had for their lives. But in doing so, he also still blesses Hagar. He tells her to submit to Sarai, which I'm sure there was a lot of layers to why that was important, and probably helped Ishmael's life and how it framed him as he grew. But as you see historically, his line, Ishmael's line versus Abram's to Isaac's line, is very there tends to be that argument between as we grow through the Bible and see this, we will see that the mistake and the choice to do that actually sets the chain of events that happens, I believe, even till now. So there's that. So I guess for this one, it's kind of like having that patience, that God's promises are faithful to be to fruition. And we will see in the coming chapters what comes still despite all this. But also as a female and wife, like, I cannot imagine what went through Sarai's mind to give her husband to give someone else to her husband. Like, I couldn't live with myself knowing that. I couldn't live through that happening. Like, that would not cross my mind as an option. And so it's very sad to me that she has to deal with that pain of what that meant as well on top of this. And then, now has a physical, symbolic person now in front of them that actually, like, reminds her of her choice. So, and Abram's choice, he's not out of this either. He was willing to do what she said, so that meant he was not content and being willing to wait on the Lord either, enough to do that for whatever reason. And you could tell he didn't really care about Hagar because of how his attitude towards Sarai is to just just do what you will with her. So it's just a very sad moment, but it's interesting because God still turns everything to your good, and you'll see that as it comes. But anyway, I hope this was interesting to you. I hope this helps you, and I hope you have a great day.